Ready?
Yeah, ready.
Are we live? Well guys, welcome back to the next episode of Before the Races, brought to you by MotoZA, South African Renaissance, fueled by Weathered Garage and empowered by Liqui Moly. Today we are going to chat to Cameron Durow, which is currently sitting here, and Jesse Wright. But before we do that, let's just once again host Ziggy Brodalka, co-host Matt Gildenhuys,
Hey.
and I need to sit back, right, so you can have vision. So the idea was to just touch base with the three of them, but two of them are available here in SA, so we're back at Cullinan. What's that track's name again?
Chestnut, dude.
Chestnut.
Come on.
No, but you threw me off with that nut on the whatever.
Anyway.
So we would like to welcome, first of all, the first part of it, Cameron Durow, our own South African champion, already
Crowned ages ago.
in PE.
Yeah, in PE.
That's right.
Feels so long ago because there's been quite a big break before this last national. But yeah, thanks for having me on the show.
No, 100%. You're welcome, man. So we thought of a bit of a recap on the MX of African Nations, Des Nations,
Des Nations, yeah.
23
Yeah,
in France. In what's that name again? Ernee.
in Ernee.
Ernee. Is that how you say it? Is
I
that
think
correct?
it's Ernee.
Okay.
I'm not 100%.
We say it the way we want to say it as
Yeah.
South African people. It's
Okay.
just say
Ernee.
Ernee. Yeah.
Renee and Ernee.
But before
Okay.
we can elaborate on the Des Nations, can't we quickly touch base with Cam on after PE National you headed up to the
Yes,
States?
100%.
Yes,
This
no,
is
I
now
did. Yeah, luckily there was a gap in our calendar. Ended up working out that I could go to the last 3 pro outdoors.
That's right.
Yeah, it was a really good experience. I got a feel for it because my plan next year is to go do hopefully their whole season. I think our calendar allows for 10 of the 11 rounds because I'm staying with Red Bull K team in South Africa. I
Okay.
actually signed my contract today, so
Wonderful.
Okay, so how does
on the
that work now? So you've signed for them. Well
Yes.
done on that. Congratulations
Thank
again.
you.
But now you've signed with them for 2024.
Yes.
And you say it's a South African thing. So how does
Yes.
it work out that you're going to be in the States for?
So when they've just done the calendars now, and the AMA calendar came out first, so I put it to MSA, asked them if they can try work the dates in.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think only one of our nationals is on the same day as Thunder Valley in the US.
Yeah.
But then after Thunder Valley, I think there's a break, so I can fly home, do the national, and still get back and travel to the next race, and then our other nationals in their other break. So
Okay.
we do a few nationals before they even start their season. I think they'll still be in Supercross.
That's right.
Then I'll be able to go do the first 3 or 4 rounds, come back home, and then
Okay,
be
so
able to
there.
fit them in.
So like you said, now in South Africa we'll finish quite a few rounds before you head over there.
Yes.
So maybe it can be the same little recap of this year, finishing
Yeah.
the championship up early and heading out again.
No, I don't think I'll be able to finish up the championship 3 rounds in, but
Oh, is it only 3 rounds in?
Oh, okay.
yeah, I think we'll have 3 or 4 rounds done. I'll go overseas, come back, do a round. I think do 3 more rounds, come back for another round, finish their championship, and I think there's 2 rounds left here when
Okay,
I get
okay.
back. So I don't think it'll be as good as what it worked out this year for me.
Okay.
And so that's the backing from KTM South Africa and Red Bull.
Yes.
So-
yes.
And who are you going to be affiliated with up there? Obviously, they're going to be supporting you in the States as well, but is there a specific team that you're going to be under?
Still trying to see if we're trying to buy a camper currently so that we can get around, and then still trying to see our options, whether we're doing it privately or if we can get a ride or something. So yeah.
So the logistics behind it is still in play. You're still trying to
Yes.
figure it out.
But the plan is to be there for all 10 rounds.
Cool. That's very cool.
Okay. I was that first 3 must have been not a bomb shock, but because you've raced in Europe or in the German ADAX and stuff. But it's the first time in America per se, right?
Yeah, it's a very different format to what I was used to with 2 days in Europe.
Mm.
I think it's a lot better, and yeah, it's just really quick warm-up sessions. I think they 15 minutes for both of them, and then like an hour and you hit your race, another hour and the races are done after that. So
yeah, Slade was elaborating
it's
how
very-
quick everything is in between.
It's very quick, but it's nice that it's all on one day, because Sunday you get to travel to the next race because they're week after week.
That's right.
So you do a lot of your traveling Sunday, Monday, and then you get close to the next race, and then I would train Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday prep bike, and then Friday you're at the track again for the next race. So
Yeah, the schedule's
it's
hectic.
big. It's a lot of traveling, but if you travel on the right days, it's quite manageable.
Yeah, so you need to plan around it properly. You need to
Yes.
play it by ear quite well.
Which,
yeah.
Sorry, Matt. Which 3 rounds did you do again? I can't remember now.
I did Unadilla, Budds Creek, and Ironman.
And which
Iron
one?
Man, how was
Yeah.
that? I touched base with Slade as well about Iron Man, because it
Yeah.
looks like the most intense track on the calendar. Obviously, you only did the last 3, but
Yeah.
Iron Man with the jumps,
The jumps look on TV. That Godzilla looked so big on TV, and when I got there, the jump was like 25-30 meters long. It's just the run
elevation,
up for it.
yeah.
It's like a vertical wall up. You do a 180 and you jump and you go straight down. But yeah, Ironman I enjoyed, Unadilla I enjoyed. Budds Creek I struggled a lot with. Had a really slick base and a lot of off-camber turns.
Yeah,
So
okay.
I struggled a bit there.
And which one was it of the rounds that you had clutch? Was it clutch problems?
Yeah, it
eh?
was also at Budds Creek. So my clutch was dragging in practice. Then I missed the qualifying straight through by like a 1/10 of a second. Then I was in the LCQ and I was running 4th, and I went off the track because my clutch wasn't working.
Ah.
And I finished 6th, so I was second reserve. And I had to try fix my clutch, and 2 guys crashed out. So I managed to get on for the second moto. So yeah, that was a hectic day. That felt like the day never ended. I was just trying to sort the bike out,
Yeah.
get a clutch in. I think I borrowed, or someone gave me their old clutch that they had taken out, one of Slade's teammates.
Okay.
And my steels had actually warped. So I took his steels and kept my fibers were still brand new. Someone came and helped me, measured them, and he said, "There's nothing wrong. I don't know how your clutch isn't working." And he opened and he said, "Oh, your steels are warped." So
Hectic.
that was like a 1 in a million thing.
Okay.
Evans waterless coolant is the solution to boiling over, so you can push your vehicle like this, and this, and this, without fearing the temperature gauge. Evans waterless coolant. Defeat the heat.
Hectic. So should we touch base on the main part of this? Ernee,
Ernee. Yes.
give us a little recap on that, the rundown. Obviously, it's a big privilege to be
Yeah.
chosen for SA. Is it your first time? Yes.
That was my second one. I
Second.
was in Redbud last year.
That's
In the
right.
Mudfest.
Yeah, that was a Mudfest. Saturday at Redbud last year was awesome. Sunday was just mud. This year was insane. I think they say the two nations to go to are Redbud and Ernee, and I've done them back to back, and they're
That's incredible,
something
eh?
else. The spectators at Ernee, I think, were
Yes.
even on another level. And
102,000 or something for the 2 days, which is stupid. It's
yeah,
a lot.
it's ridiculous the amount of people there, and then it's in a valley. The track's on this side of the hill, and all the spectators are on that side. So,
So they're not surrounded.
so
by
it's not even surrounding the track. Yeah, they literally in one spot. So,
So it's like an amphitheater. You
it's-
just watch.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No
So-
more nerves about the race, more nerves about the fans around.
yeah, like if you're riding on the track, and a French rider's in the same, like, along the track as you,
Yes.
you hear the fans moving around with the French guy.
Jeepers.
So I'll be going down this hill, and he'll go across, and you'll hear them, and then you'll hear it go that way.
So,
It's insane.
So it's loud.
It is loud, yeah.
That's very cool. And just if you can elaborate a little bit about the whole day. Obviously, we got Jesse as well that he can touch base. But if you can just give us a rundown from start to finish.
So yeah, Friday, obviously we do the team ceremony parade and
How's
bike
that?
setup.
That parade.
That was pretty cool. It was a bit different this year. last year we drove on the track. This year you go around, but all the fans were already there on Friday evening. So yeah, it was awesome. And then we were a lot further up because we finished better than last year. So they do it in the order of your team.
What was last year?
I think we were
16th.
20th, and
20.
then last year we were 18. The year before I think we were 20. So we
No, at least it's a forward
and then
moving.
now we were 13th. So yeah, we've moved forward the past
That's
3
very
years.
cool,
luckily.
Yeah, it is.
And then yeah, so all the fans are there, and then also you get to, we stayed and watched, like when Ken Roxon came out, they go mad because they love him. When the French came out, it was insane.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so cool to watch all the other teams as well go out.
Yeah, just to be part of it, I think is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, qualifying and so on. How does that work there?
So in the morning on Saturday, we were all individual. We don't ride as a team at all. So I was GP class. I ride my own, I think it's a 40-minute warm-up. Then Camden would have gone his 40-minute warm-up, and then Jesse did his. And then we have our qualifying race, which was 20 plus 2. And the qualifying race went pretty good. I was around the top 20 most of the time. I think I ended up finishing 22nd. I lost a couple places on the last lap.
Yeah, it was 22nd. I was watching, yeah.
So I finished 22nd, which was better than my place last year. And then Camden had a really good qualifying race. He got 6th, so that's
right.
Kind of solidified us. Jesse was also having a pretty good one, but he crashed. I'm sure he will tell you about it. And then, that's basically the day done. We qualified straight through, so there was enough teams this year that they warranted a C final. There was 39 nations entered. I think 37 showed up. So like 6 or 7 nations even raced a C final. So we watched a bit of that.
That was the Sunday morning, I think.
No, that was B final on Sunday morning. Saturday night was C final.
Okay.
So the one team from C went to B. We got to watch that. Then B final was in the morning, and the track looked already sketchy there. I watched it on. The Oakley stand had a big like TV. We were walking in the pits, and I just checked guys going over the handlebars left, right, and center.
It was lots.
And then I was like, okay, I think they did it before we went out for our practice. So by the time we had our practices were all together, but they separate them odds and evens where you qualified, and the track by practice was already like gnarly with kickers and stuff. And then I was Moto 1 shared with Camden, I think. That motor was pretty solid. I was also running 29. I could have done a bit better. Like I wasn't so happy with my results at the end of the weekend.
Is it because of the start mostly?
Yeah, I didn't. Once I got to 29th, I stayed there the whole moto. I just didn't move forward. So Moto 2, my goal was to get a really good start. Jesse gave me the better gate pick because he was a bit sore and he had just raced. So he said, give it to me. And then Moto 2, I had a really good start. I think I was running around 20th or so for like about 2 laps, and I was trying to pass a guy going into the split lane, and in between every moto there they put on a lot of water, so it was so slick, and there was 2 ruts, the outside and inside, and I tried to go inside of the rut because it looked smooth and grippy, and it was just clay. So I washed out second lap. Then I picked the bike up and it was on the downhill, so the bike wouldn't start. I don't think the fuel pump was getting fuel, and I had to like maneuver my bike sideways and then get it to start. So I lost like 40 seconds.
Sure.
And then I was so far back, and the leaders start lapping you when you're that far back quite soon. So I just couldn't get going in that moto again. So I didn't really move forward.
Your whole rhythm was out there.
Yeah.
Doesn't really look like a massive track though. It's very tight. And what's a good
What's your
time?
feeling on the track? Did you enjoy it? Did it suit you? Because it looks super hard pack.
It was a very hard pack, but they did water it a lot, so it was very slippery. And then from Saturday to Sunday, it was so different. Saturday they didn't prep it so deep, and on Sunday it was twice as deep and was like so many square edges and choppy. So it was really difficult, especially as the motors got on. Like there's that long off-camber uphill.
Yeah.
That was just ruts, and then the one motor they watered it out, felt like I was sliding the whole way up there. Then you have to like double out that corner or roll on and double, and it's like riding on a staircase. There's just like choppy. So I don't know. You see a lot of the faster guys, they come and they're like doing this on it, or they like wait till after those and then they jumping. So it was really difficult to try and figure out lines and stuff. But I did enjoy the track quite a bit. especially when I was riding good. But once if you are like the second motor, I wasn't in a rhythm, then I don't know, it's so hard to get going, and people are passing, when you're getting lapped, like Jet and them lapped even Aaron Plessinger in the second motor. Apparently.
See, that's hectic, eh? But it obviously, that's why I asked if that track, if it suited you just fine, because obviously coming from Derbs, it gets very rutted and very choppy there, eh? So it was somewhat similar, no?
They're all so different. Obviously we ride motocross, we need to be able to ride anything, but the elevation is still something that's so hard to get used to. I am a lot more comfortable with it than what I used to be, but I wouldn't say the track suits any South African unless you've been riding like French tracks. America has a bit of elevation, but I haven't had it because that track you literally go straight down, turn straight up, or like riding along the hill the whole time. It's like all off camber.
And how's that triple step up, the roller rhythm, and then out that triple step up?
That was big, yeah. On a 450, it was pretty much tapped, and the bike G's out to make it to the top.
Oh, hectic.
I think the one motor I was landing the beginning and then trying to jump over all the bumps. But
find a rhythm, yeah.
It was pretty sketchy. I think there was that clip of Ken doing this on the takeoff. He was right in front of me when he did that. I thought he was going to cross jump into me because he did this. And then also in my qualifying race, they had watered on our first lap, and there was that huge crash on it's a triple up the hill. You turn, you come down, and there was a table.
Yes.
Two or three guys tangled in the air that we didn't see. Then another guy on my inside landed on the guy, and he got ejected, and his bike came across, and Calvin Flandrin was right in front of me, and I got on the brakes. I cased the jump. Calvin got hit by the bike, and I just missed the back of the bike. So I dodged 5 guys getting or crashing and stuff. And also in that second moto, the first lap, it's so slippery. Guys get on the gas, or that step up, they would jump off into the banners and stuff. So it's
there was a lot
trying
of
to stay in your
incidents
position and also not just get taken out by guys.
You see that crash from, I think it was at Aiken, from Australia. I think was it Ferris?
I think
yes, Ferris.
Through about that triple step up I was talking, just before that, he comes through so perfect, and as he lands, it just hits him out of the blue.
Oh, that was the quali race.
Was it quali? Okay.
And then Geis's teammate, not Fernandez, Fernandez.
Yeah, Ruben Fernandez.
Yeah.
He must also jumped, and then all of a sudden he was
on that step up.
It was just off the track.
That happened on the first lap. In the third moto, someone did the same thing in front of me, just from the outside across your front wheel. They land sideways and then down the side of the bank. So there's no room for error on that track.
It's a good touch base there. It was a good insight there.
Yeah,
thank you, dude.
look.
Yeah, pleasure.
And just quickly, how does this selection work for the South African teams? Because I believe there was a change of law, or whatever you want to call it.
I think in the past there was no clear selection. It would just be randomly selected, and then I think guys that were winning or doing well overseas or here weren't getting selected. So MSA stepped in and said they want, if you have to race in South Africa, so 2 guys have to race from South Africa.
All right.
So to be selected, you had to have at least competed here, and I don't know if you had to have an MSA license or what.
Okay.
And then they wanted 1 wild card. So Camden, obviously doing the best overseas, top 5ing in GPs, they said okay, he'll be wild card, and it's logistically easier for him. And then they take first. I think they chose me off my MX2 result.
Right.
And then they couldn't choose me for MX1, so they took the next best guy.
Okay.
And then I think Jesse's second in the championship, so that's why he got selected via MX1.
That makes complete sense,
and then I would have liked to race 250, but then Camden's a 250 rider, and I can race both, so that's why I stepped up to the GP class.
But you suit the 450 well enough, though.
Yes,
I think so. I think you hug that thing properly.
But had there been a problem, say if Camden was to get injured, I could have dropped to a 250, and we would have put probably Purdon or someone on a 450. I think Slade also said he would be up to ride a 450.
Okay.
So whoever would have been able to come. There was some backup plans with spare reserve riders and stuff.
And the logistics getting there, was it a nightmare? With bikes and stuff, did you get bikes arranged from that side? Or?
For me, I'm quite lucky. I've got a guy I lived with in Holland, Rob. That's where I raced a lot of my juniors in Europe from their house. So had sold all my bikes there this year, so they already had money. We bought a bike.
All right.
So I have a 450 there now currently, and then KTM supplied me with a second bike. That bike's coming back now, and it'll be my practice bike next year. So a lot of the KTM supported overseas riders got the opportunity to get a bike, and then that bike's going back to them. So I think the New Zealand team has the same thing, and the Australians as well. So they would have used the bike at Nations. Then the Austrian guys who came and helped us packed it up, took it back to Austria, and then they'll ship it back to mine, obviously to South Africa,
That's cool.
to their country.
Okay.
So
That's very
KTM's
cool.
That's
it's
interesting. I did not.
it's a one way to get around buying a bike there, because a bike is like 50% more to buy it overseas than it is to buy it here.
Shit.
So yeah, being
So we
supported-
complain about prices, but it's actually still,
Yeah.
in comparison, reasonably priced.
So
in
being
South Africa.
supported by a KTM here helps there with the fact that I can get that. I don't have to just buy everything.
That's
Yeah.
very cool. That's interesting to hear there.
Yeah.
Well, good luck for tomorrow, buddy.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well,
Last
we are-
round.
It is last round. He is SA champ already.
Yeah, but
23, but
what's the plan? Just to have fun, eh?
Yeah, it's the last race of the season, and then gonna take like 2 weeks off, and then start getting ready for next year. So yeah, just gonna try have some fun tomorrow. I don't particularly enjoy this track, but
okay.
I've been riding here the last 2 regionals, and I've been working on my suspension setup for next year, and it's been helping with this track. So yeah, I think it'll still be a good day. I love racing, so yeah, anytime I'm on the track, I have fun.
That's good.
100%.
Good to hear. Well, good luck, buddy, and thanks
Cool.
for everything. Thanks for the insight.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks
Thank
for
you,
having me
Cameron.
on.
Cheers, man.
Cheers, thank you.
And
Thank you.
good luck.
Cool,
All
I'll
right.
go get Jesse for you guys.
Yes. Lekker.
Water. For 100 years, we've used water mixed with conventional antifreeze to cool engines because nothing transfers heat better. But water's limitations present multiple challenges. For starters, water's low boiling point can lead to steam generation and an overheated engine, is the root cause of corrosion in your engine, and supports electrolysis, where water acts like a conductor, allowing an electrochemical charge between dissimilar metals that can degrade your radiator over time. For decades, drivers and auto enthusiasts have searched for ways to overcome these age-old issues, but until now, there hasn't been a viable solution. Enter Evans Waterless Coolant. While most coolants today contain 50% water, Evans doesn't use it at all. Evans features a revolutionary water-free formula that prevents corrosion and doesn't support electrolysis, meaning it won't eat away at engine metals. The biggest difference, though, is Evans' boiling point, 375 degrees, which is far higher than water's at 212 degrees and regular coolants at 235. Unlike water-based coolants, this means Evans won't form vapor in your engine. Why is that important? Because vapor pockets forming between liquid coolant and metal components create a barrier that prevents heat from being drawn away from the engine, which is a coolant's job in the first place. Water conducts heat extremely well as long as it remains a liquid. But quickly and without notice, vaporization takes away nearly all of water's capacity to transfer heat. With vapor existing between engine metals and liquid coolant, hotspots develop in the metal. Pressure builds, the coolant begins to boil, and the engine overheats. When engines overheat, people are stranded on the side of the road, get stuck out in the woods, and lose races. Overheating can ruin not only your day, but under the surface, ruin your engine. Evans is safer and more stable than traditional coolants because it prevents the high pressure levels that lead to boilovers and volcanic radiator eruptions, meaning hoses, seals, and gaskets are less likely to leak and will last longer. From cars to trucks to motorcycles, Evans is an enabler. It allows safe, consistent, and efficient operation in temperature ranges that are simply unreachable with water. Evans handles extreme conditions that put stress on your engine, such as high heat, heavy loads, or blockages that disrupt airflow to the radiator. With Evans, your operating ceiling is raised. Evans does its job well past the point where other coolants fail, even in situations where performance isn't your main objective, such as with classic or vintage cars. Evans helps preserve the engine by eliminating the long-term corrosive effects of water, which is exactly why collectors and museums use Evans to protect their investments. What all this adds up to is the safest, most efficient, and most reliable coolant available. Whether idling in traffic, off-roading, or racing, drivers and riders finally have a solution to the problem water presents. Evans waterless coolant provides permanent protection, reduced maintenance, and enhanced performance, even under the most extreme conditions. Learn more and find out where you can get yours at www.evanscoolant.com.